Hey everyone, we just finished co-working online in the Entrepreneur Collective and we got talking about cold calling, and Amanda and Renee both are total pros at this. And the favorite line that Amanda said to one of our coworkers is, "I will loan you my courage." I really fell in love with that because sometimes she loans me hers as well. And Renee, thank you for all your motivation the last little bit. Amanda, can you just tell us a little bit about how you learned about cold calling and like what where you get your juju from?
Well, my life insurance career began in the 80s when I joined a network marketing company that was all about using the telephone and prospecting on the telephone. And so I plugged in at that time to learning about telephoning and telephone technique. And I learned the concept of what's called the 1,000-pound telephone. And back in the day, this was before digital access. So it literally was a telephone with a handset that you had to pick up and hang up, pick up and hang up. And so that was my early initiation into telephoning and calling. And that carried on, and I did it with as much diligence as possible until the do not call legislation became the biggest threat in my industry, where the minimum fine was $10,000 for any stripe of an infraction of calling someone who was on the do not call list.
And so, but it sounded like you've also done a lot of training on this too. You had a book that you recommended.
Yes, there's a lady named Wendy Weiss, W-E-I-S-S, and I connected with her work through Brian Tracy, who was a master of, at courage building and marketing and prospecting and approaching and everything in sales. And she's known as the queen of cold calling. So she has a couple of ebooks that are free, and then for a nominal spend, you can get access to a more comprehensive program of hers. And it teaches some of the must knows and must do's in calling and prospecting. And the key
you took from everything she taught, what's the one thing you would offer to other people from that book?
I would summarize it. There's actually a website called this, FIITFU, FitFu. The fortune is in the follow-up.
And that's what we were just talking about. That's what got this conversation started. Now you've reminded
me. It was. So you lead.
What was it? What was the follow-up? This is how this conversation started. This is so exciting. Okay, so what did you tell her about the fortune and being in the follow-up? And what did you tell her? And it was from Ray Higdon.
What did I tell?
About follow-up.
To not overthink it? I can't remember. Renee, help me out.
Follow up till they're dead.
Oh, right. Yeah, Ray Higdon is a network marketing hero, and he says until one of two things happens: either they're dead, or they tell you to F off in the most rude way that you'd never want to talk to them again.
And like I was saying, I was listening to some Grant Cardone, and he used to sell mattresses, and he basically that was his goal too. Until they don't bother me anymore ever, F off. He would try and sell.
Yeah. And Grant Cardone was actually Ray Higdon's coach for many years. Ray Higdon's a young guy. He's in his early 40s with two little kids, and so he participated in Grant Cardone's coaching for many years. So of course he's going to be saying these Cardonian isms.
And Renee, tell us a little bit more about what you do. We got talking there.
Oh no, I completely with the follow-up. It is, you have to be able to follow up, and even if it's just sending out something, just saying, "Hey, I'm here," instead of like, secret is not to make them feel bad because I've chosen to ignore you. It's just like, oh, just checking in, maybe my timing's a little better now, or turn it around, make it about them. Hey, just making sure. I mean, what a great time that everything's going well during these hard times, or there's any way to follow up. There's gentle ways of doing it. But I think the key is to not make them try and feel bad for not reaching out.
When I've been listening to Shanda, can't think of her second name, but just talking about make sure you're making a personal connection.
Yep.
right? And I think that I think there's no difference, even though like Amanda's, when you're looking for a life insurance policy customer, it's a person. And Renee, you're contacting someone at a bigger company because you're doing commercial wholesale, right? Did I word that correctly?
Absolutely.
But still remember, that's still a person there on the other end of the line.
Exactly. And I mean, no matter what, we're selling a service. You know, it is a service that we're trying to connect with other people. So it's all the same. It's just a matter of how to best do it.
Because they could be offered the same exact product, and they're going to pick the Renee that they like over the Renee that didn't contact them kindly for the last 3 years.
Literally. Yeah. And as we were talking about before, it's building a relationship. Mm-hmm. So it could be a couple of years and then they may finally say yes. But if you're following up, you know, once every 2 months or whatever, and just saying, hey, I'm still here if you need something, or I'm happy to answer any questions, anything. Mm-hmm. Anything, just so
it applies to more. I think the mistake is people think it applies just to sales, but I always go back to, I quite often when I'm coaching someone, I'll explain to them it's not always about selling something. Sometimes it's about something that you need, or a relationship that you need to build, or just people to know that you're there. It's the guy who was a graphic designer and he was looking for the job and he wasn't looking to sell, and he was looking to sell himself, but he followed up with Starbucks for like 3 or 5 years or something, once a week. Hi, I'm available. Need a designer yet? Hi, I'm available. But just doing something to stay in touch, and like, when you're ready, I'm here. You know, he kept it light. Sounds of it. I mean, I'm repeating a story that could have been made up, or it could be like 10th person telephone retelling the story. But the point doesn't change. It's just follow up constantly until you get the result that you want.
Absolutely. And it's not
the guy apparently got a job at Starbucks, so they had it. So
there's another technique also, Renee. Are you actually in sales, or you're mostly, your business is just doing the initial contacting and the follow-up? Okay. There's another technique or a resource called the Mckay 66. And Harvey Mckay is the author of the book, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive. And
I think I have a copy of that somewhere. It's old.
Probably. Yeah, it's totally old school. Yes, we love books. We love books, not ebooks, not audio books, actual books.
I actually have to rent a storage space because I don't own because I don't want to move all my books into the rental. And so I have a lot of books that I just can't wait to build a library for.
Yeah, really.
Books, sorry.
So the 66 are the 66 things that you want to learn about your prospect as they become a customer over the lifetime of them being your customer or client.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I've never heard it put that way. Really,
yes, so it's called the Mckay 66. So every time there's a contact made, there's an opportunity to learn more about that person, to fill up your 66 items of knowledge about that person, so you really, really do know them.
And it means you really, really, really need your CRM, your customer relationship management tool. So I know that I've been on a sales team where we were doing that actively, but I wasn't conscious that that's, really, I mean, that's where I would guess by the person that I was working for, that's exactly what he was having us do, because we were always adding in more detail from birthdays to, events, anniversaries. You can keep adding a little thing like, oh, that person has, like you were talking about today, that person was planting some spinach. Have you planted your spinach this year yet? I remember you did it last year, or maybe it's a conference or an event when you're talking to someone who's corporate, like, oh, so I live in Whistler. So were you at the event in Whistler this year? I saw you did it. Obviously COVID, we're not, we're very unconferenced right now. Actually, good time to have a conference. But Renee, what's your experience like? What kind of follow-up do you do with your CRM? Like, do you keep little details like that?
Well, unfortunately, because everything is done distance and through emails, you don't have a chance to connect that way with people. So it is very much just trying to get them interested enough to read your email and to reply. But as as you're building those relationships and people start deciding they want your salt or what have you, there's one customer that I talk to and we only talk on the phone. And so we're building more and more of a relationship, which is nice. But the rest is just, this is what I mean. Literally, I get emails. Hi, I would like this, and that's it.
So
I've never
need
talked
a damn sexy email signature.
It's just
right?
yeah, business is really different now. It's really, really different. It's a quick email.
Do you find people want to do Zoom or anything like that? They just want to get the products, get her out there.
More so get the product, get out.
Very cool.
I have a few meetings that I do with London Drugs, things like that. But overall, especially because it is so much cold calling, the people that I've cold called and haven't managed to engage with, it'll be an email saying, this is what I want. Not even a hi, Renee. It's hi, this is what I want. And that's it.
Wow. Well, thank you, ladies, for staying on after co-working today. For anyone who would like to join us, they can come onto the entrepreneurcollective.com, go into the menu, find the co-working group. It's Coffee House Network. We meet every Monday morning at 9:45 on Pacific Standard Time, and we have other events and that going on in the collective all the time. And hopefully we will all get to meet live and in person. Renee, hopefully you will come for a run with us at 5 o'clock because we're both in Whistler. And Amanda down in Vancouver, I can't wait till we can maybe have a glass of wine at Sylvia. I almost did that with Jennifer because I was coming through because I've got the outdoor patio now. So I think the ladies meeting will be back soon. I can't wait.
Yes.
Okay. Take care. Thank you.
My signature. Bye-bye then.
Bye-bye. Love your heart. Love your heart.
Have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.